Finally, some good news to talk about after a really rough week for interest rates, y'all. We saw a nice improvement yesterday. It is helping interest rates based on the consumer price index that we got a read on yesterday. Quite a bit better than expected, so we're going to talk about it in today's video. This is Thursday, the 13th of June. I hope everyone's doing well. Looking forward to a great weekend. Let's dive right in. Fed produced a lot of news yesterday. Number one, we have a Fed meeting. We have the Fed minutes. We have them reacting to the CPI number that came out yesterday, better than expected. And now adding to that, we've got the producer price index today that also came out better than expected. So let's dive right into the inflationary numbers. We went into yesterday's report with inflation running at 3.4% on the headline number, came in at 3.27%. That was about 0.3% better than expected, y'all. So that was a nice bump in bond prices, moving yields downward. Core CPI, when you strip out food and energy, was at 3.6%, went down to 3.41%. Again, significantly better than expectations, and a really good news for interest rates. Today, producer price index came in bolstering those same numbers, y'all. This is the wholesale read on inflation, or inflation at the wholesale level. Expectations were for the PPI to be up 0.1% month over month. It was down 0.2%. We actually saw wholesale prices drop 0.2% going into for the read on May. Year over year, we were running 2.3% last year. We're at 2.2% this year. So even with interest rates moderating nicely 12 months ago relative to where we've been over the last 12 months, we're seeing the PPI actually below last year's number, which again was a surprise. As you might expect, bonds are rallying nicely on that news because it conveys the notion that the Fed might be preparing, they might be seeing some evidence here that allows them to be more aggressive in loosening their monetary policy. Chairman Powell yesterday gave a press conference that I watched in which he talked about not just inflation, but he answered a number of questions about these labor numbers that we've seen. We talked some on Friday of last week about how the BLS report that reports non-farm payrolls monthly has got this wide disparity between the business part of the survey, which showed 272,000 new jobs added versus 180,000 expected. That's why we saw interest rates so much higher on Monday of this week based on that report, versus the household survey, which actually calls households, which showed 408,000 jobs lost. So you've got almost a 700,000 job disparity between those two components inside the same report. Chairman Powell addressed that to say, yeah, we have to kind of discount that report. So what are they going to look at? Well, when you look at the plot map that the Fed releases as part of their minutes that show where each of their voting members is over time, and you compare that to where they want to see unemployment rate and at what point they might get more aggressive in easing, and you throw percentages at that, you can kind of extrapolate that the Fed, when they see an unemployment rate of 4.2%, that's when you have the most members voting to ease. So you can extrapolate that out to say the 4% unemployment rate that we got on Friday of last week, we see another 0.2 or so added to that in the next report or in a future report. Be looking for that to be a really strong rallying point in the bond market, y'all, because the Fed is watching employment nearly as closely as they're watching inflation. If we see an unemployment rate that ticks up to 4.2, that might be a test for the Fed at that point to really ease their monetary policy. So how does that reset the CME FedWatch tool about where we might see future cuts? Well, here it is. We have got a 68% chance of easing at or before the September meeting. We've got an 81% chance of easing at or before the November meeting and a 95% chance of the Fed easing at or before the December meeting. All of those are a little bit more aggressive than the last time we looked at those plots for when the Fed might begin easing. What has it done for interest rates? Well, today, Mortgage News Daily has a 30-year fixed conforming at 6.97%. We were at 7.17% on Monday, y'all, so we're about 1/4 point better than we were this time earlier in the week. It's a nice improvement in 4 days, y'all. We were at 7.12% a month ago. So a little over 1/8 better than we were a month ago and 1/4 better than we were on Monday of this week. That's a nice improvement. Let's hope it continues. I'm going to continue to keep an eye on it, y'all. We're starting to see things move in our direction. So let's hope for that to continue. Stay blessed, stay safe. Send me some loans. All of my contact information is on the screen. It's what we do for a living here, y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.